NASCAR's lost teams, Robby Gordon Motorsports. Robby Gordon Motorsports is a former NASCAR Cup Series and Xfinity Series race team who competed from 2004 through 2012. Now, Robby Gordon can be a controversial figure at times, never one to back down from an argument or a confrontation. Oh, and just to get it out of the way, Robby is in no way related to four-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Jeff Gordon. He and John Menard decided to start a Busch Series, now Xfinity Series race team, in 2004, with engines from Earnhardt Childress. Gordon would make 25 out of 34 possible starts in 2004, behind the wheel of a number 55 Fruit of the Loom Chevrolet that the two owned. They were very competitive right out of the box, making the first 11 starts of the season, before switching to a more select schedule for the remainder of the 2004 season. Robby was 5th in Xfinity Series point standings when the team stopped running full-time. Robby's best start was 2nd at Charlotte in the fall, and his best finish was 1st at Richmond in the fall. The victory at Richmond would be both his first and only career Xfinity Series victory. Overall, in 25 starts, Gordon scored 1 win, 6 top 5s, and 10 top 10s, finishing 21st in final Xfinity Series point standings. Considering how well they performed in their first season in the Xfinity Series, Robby Gordon Motorsports decided to make the jump up into the NASCAR Cup Series full-time, starting in 2005. Though this move may have been a little bit premature, because the 2005 Cup Series season was not very good for Robby Gordon Motorsports, not qualifying for the 2005 Daytona 500 and missing 6 other races throughout the season, because they weren't fast enough to make the field. His best start was 5th at Sonoma in the summer. His best finish was 2nd at Watkins Glen in the summer. Overall, in 29 starts, Gordon scored 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s, finishing 37th in final NASCAR Cup Series point standings. Back down in the Xfinity Series, Gordon made 4 starts in self-owned equipment, 3 in the number 55 and 1 in the number 83, all Chevrolets. His best start was 2nd in Mexico City in the spring. His best finish was 2nd at Watkins Glen in the summer. Overall, in 4 Xfinity Series starts, Robby Gordon scored 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s. Results and performance improved a considerable amount for Robby Gordon Motorsports in 2006. Robby was able to qualify for all 36 races throughout the Cup Series season in 2006, behind the wheel of his self-owned number 7 Jim Beam Menard Chevrolet, spending the season between 14th and 31st in point standings. Gordon's best start was 6th, and his best finish was 4th, both coming to Watkins Glen in the summer. Overall, in 36 starts, Robby scored 1 top 5 and 3 top 10s, finishing 30th in final NASCAR Cup Series point standings, also making 2 Xfinity Series starts behind the wheel of his team's number 7 Harris Chevrolet. His best start was 7th, and his best finish was 2nd, both coming at Watkins Glen in the summer. For the 2007 season, Robby Gordon Motorsports switched manufacturers from Chevrolets to Fords. This would end up being the team's best season as far as points are concerned, spending the season between 14th and 31st in points, but really was much closer to the mid-20s in point standings throughout the season. While making one of the few Xfinity Series starts Robby Gordon did in 2007, in Montreal, Gordon and Marcus Ambrose got together and Gordon spun. He refused to line up 13th like he was supposed to, after getting passed by a dozen or so drivers while getting his race car going the right direction, following a spin. Gordon insisted on staying in the lead, even when Kevin Harvick won the event. Robby performed a burnout next to him, this after getting black flagged and scored in the 18th position. Because of this, NASCAR suspended Robby Gordon from the Cup Series race at Pocono. This is why P.J. Jones would run that race in the number 7. Gordon's best start was 2nd at Sonoma in the summer. His best finish was 5th at Watkins Glen in the summer. Overall, in 35 starts, they scored 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s, finishing 26th in final NASCAR Cup Series point standings. P.J. Jones filled in for Gordon at Pocono in August. Jones started 30th and finished 37th. Gordon also made 8 Xfinity Series starts in his team's number 55 Verizon Wireless Ford. His best start was 4th at Watkins Glen in the summer, and his best finish was 7th at Charlotte in the fall. Overall, in 8 Xfinity Series starts, Gordon scored one top 10 finish. Robby Gordon Motorsports made yet another manufacturer change going into the 2008 season, switching from Fords to Dodge. Originally, when they switched to Dodge, they could only get a Charger nose, but Dodge had a better design, the Dodge Avenger. Gordon was able to secure one of the new pieces of equipment, then swapped out the old nose for the new one, replacing all the decals and such. Following a very solid showing at Daytona, Gordon was hit with penalties of 100 drivers and owner points gone, his crew chief suspended for 6 weeks, along with a $100,000 fine. Due to the car tomorrow penalties, the punishment was in line with other penalties handled down at the time for messing with a single source part. On March 5th, the National Stock Car Racing Commission reinstated the 100 driver and owner points the punishment originally took from the team, along with crew chief Frankie Kerr's suspension being lifted. Though they still left Gordon on probation, and they increased his fine to $150,000. Making 36 starts throughout the 2008 NASCAR Cup Series season, spending the season falling from 9th all the way down to 33rd in points slowly throughout the season. Gordon's best start was 8th at Sonoma in the summer, and his best finish was 6th at Daytona in the summer. Overall, in 36 starts, Gordon scored 3 top 10s, finishing 33rd in final Cup Series point standings. Making another 2 Xfinity Series starts, both behind the wheel of the team's number 55 Dodge. His best start was 2nd, and his best finish was 19th, both coming at Watkins Glen in the summer. Brian Eichler made a one-off start in Gordon's number 55 Dodge at Phoenix in the fall, starting and finishing 38th. Really, this was not the best season for Robby Gordon Motorsports in 2009, making yet another manufacturer swap, this time from Ford to Toyota. Behind the wheel of his number 7 Toyota, Gordon's best start was 12th at California in the spring, and his best finish was 3rd at Charlotte in the spring. Overall, in 35 starts, Robby Gordon scored 1 top 5 and 1 top 10, finishing 34th in final NASCAR Cup Series point standings. David Gilliland made a one-off start at Richmond in the fall behind the wheel of Gordon's number 7 Toyota, starting 30th and finishing 24th. Gilliland substituted for Gordon at Richmond because Gordon was running the Baja off-road race. P.J. Jones ran the 2 road course races at Sonoma and Watkins Glen behind the wheel of the team's second entry, the number 04 Toyota. Jones' best start was 37th at Sonoma in the early summer, and his best finish was 41st at Watkins Glen in the late summer. Making 1 Xfinity Series start at Watkins Glen behind the wheel of his self-owned number 55 Toyota, starting 3rd and finishing 14th. As the sport entered a new decade, Robby Gordon Motorsports continued to struggle in 2010. In an attempt to keep the team's flagship entry in the top 35 in Cup Series point standings, to make sure that they're guaranteed at least a provisional to make each race, Gordon only made 27 starts in the number 7 Toyota. His best start was 15th at Watkins Glen in the summer. His best finish was 2nd at Sonoma in the early summer. Of these 27 starts, 2 was made in the team's number 07, a second entry, when Gordon gave up his seat to Kevin Conway. Conway was not a proven talent whatsoever. He came with sponsorship money. A paid driver, Conway was thought to be. But the worst part of the situation is that his sponsor, Extend, didn't pay Robby Gordon Motorsports at all. It turned out that's the exact reason that Conway and Front Row Motorsports parted ways. Extend not only didn't pay their bills, the product, from what I've gathered on Reddit and a couple other reviews, doesn't even work. Instead of being a product to help people get it up, Extend ended up being a product that just ended up letting a lot of people down. Conway's best start was 40th twice at Bristol and Dover in the fall. His best finish was 30th at Homestead in the fall. P.J. Jones returned to the team to make another 4 starts, 2 in the number 07 and 2 in the number 7. His best start was 35th at Sonoma in the early summer, and his best finish was 35th at Pocono in the summer. 2000 NASCAR Cup Series champion Bobby Labonte made a one-off start behind the wheel of the team's number 7 Toyota at Loudon in the summer, starting 42nd and finishing 30th. In the Xfinity Series, Robby made a one-off start behind the wheel of his self-owned number 07 Toyota at Montreal, starting 16th and finishing 14th. Robby Gordon Motorsports' final full season came in 2011. Gordon, on some levels, realized as much, hence the reason he began basically starting and parking the final 16 starts he made, with the exception of the 2 road courses and the summer race at Daytona. Gordon's best start was 20th at Phoenix in the fall, and his best finish was 16th at Daytona in the spring. Overall, in 25 starts, Gordon scored 3 top 20s, finishing 34th in final NASCAR Cup Series point standings. Scott Wimmer made 6 attempts, qualifying 4 times. The 2 races he DNQ'd, he was behind the wheel of the team's second entry, the number 77 Speed Energy Toyota. The 4 events Wimmer successfully qualified for was behind the wheel of the number 7 Toyota. Wimmer's best start was 34th at Dover in the spring, and his best finish was 27th at Loudon in the summer. Reed Sorensen made 5 attempts in Gordon's number 7 Toyota, qualifying 3 times. Each race Sorensen started and parked. Johnny Sauter made 2 attempts in the team's number 7 Toyota, qualifying for the Kansas race in the early summer, where he started 41st and finished 36th after a brake issue ended his race early on lap 101. P.J. Jones got that number 77 Toyota in the field at Sonoma, qualifying 35th, but he just parked it 5 laps into the event. For the first time since they were established in 2004, the team did not score a single top 10 finish throughout the entire 2011 season. Things continued to get even worse, if they could, during the first couple races of the 2012 NASCAR Cup Series season. After a solid run in his 150-mile qualifying race, Robby was looking to have a solid run in the 2012 Daytona 500. However, that was not to be, as his engine would blow on lap 25, ending his race early and leaving him to finish 41st. Then at Phoenix the following weekend, Gordon would start and park his number 7 Dodge, followed by 3 straight weeks of not qualifying for events. Robby decided right then and there that the team was cutting back to only running a very select schedule. In fact, the team would only run 1 more Cup Series race and 1 more Xfinity Series race before pulling out of active competition. The final Cup Series start that Robby Gordon Motorsports ever made came at Sonoma in the summer, where they started 34th and finished 39th after steering issues ended his race early on lap 73. Now the final NASCAR race that the team ever started was the Xfinity Series race in Montreal in August. Gordon was behind the wheel of his number 77 Dodge. They qualified 6th, led 5 laps, but on lap 67 of 74, he blew his engine, leaving him to finish 31st. After their time in NASCAR, now Robby Gordon Motorsports builds and competes in their Stadium Super Truck Series. Stadium Super Truck races are known for their exciting, fan-friendly style, with their trucks jumping ramps. So, in 251 NASCAR Cup Series starts, Robby Gordon Motorsports scored 5 top 5s and 12 top 10s, with the best points finish at 26th in 2007. In 45 Xfinity Series starts, the team scored 1 win, 8 top 5s, and 14 top 10s, with the best points finish at 21st in 2004. Thanks for watching, everybody, and you guys take care.